On behalf of everybody here at the Howard League, our huge thanks to the International Juvenile Justice Observatory for this award, the Juvenile Justice Without Borders International Award. The award marks a milestone for the Howard League, as it's 20 years since the charity went to court in an important case about the Children's Act 1989, legislation which allocates duties to local authorities, courts, parents, and other agencies in the United Kingdom to ensure that children are safeguarded and that their welfare is protected. In 2002, we went to court to fight for children in prison to have the same right to be protected as children in the community. The case was successful. The High Court held that the Children's Act applies to children in custody and led to a raft of child protection policies and procedures introduced to prisons holding children. In the years since, the number of children in prison in England and Wales has reduced dramatically, from 3,000 in 2002 to fewer than 500 today. This is a major success, and the Howard League has made a significant contribution by working with police services across the country and encouraging them to arrest fewer children. Over the course of the decade, arrests of children in England and Wales have been reduced by 74%, from almost 250,000 in 2010 to 63,000 in 2020. But there is much work to be done. While children in custody numbers are down, sadly, little's changed for the experience of children who end up there. I was in a children's prison last week where half of the 30 children being held are awaiting trial, some of them for months and years, with all of the uncertainty and the stress that brings. And for many of the rest, they're settling into years in custody in the most disempowering of places to grow up and to transition to adulthood. Their complex needs and the trauma they face in prison are reflected in the hundreds of calls the Howard League receives each year through our specialist legal advice line that again is celebrating its 20th anniversary this year. We often represent these children in litigation with concerns about their safety, provision for education, in adjudications to resolve conflicts, in their parole hearings, and around issues of their resettlement. For example, we were recently able to help one young person be transferred to a prison closer to home, so his mum could see him face to face for the first time in more than 2 years. A number of times this year, we've represented children seeking to attend the funerals of family members who've been rare points of stability in their lives. Sometimes these cases escalate to the highest courts in the country, and we currently have one case pending before the European Court of Human Rights concerning the segregation of a 15-year-old boy. Every day we hear of young people who've been remanded unnecessarily or placed miles from their families and are spending, at the moment, sometimes 22 hours a day locked in their cells, or people who have no place to live when they're released. And the number of young people in prison is projected to rise yet again. We've got much work to be done to combat the tendency of our courts to treat children as adults. We know that this is particularly the case for children from racialised minorities who are overrepresented in our prison system. This year, we've started a new project looking at racial disparities in youth justice, which will consider the overuse of remand, the operation of sentencing in drugs offences, and joint enterprise convictions, which affect an untold number of children every year. We also have much to do on lifting the lid on the experiences of children and young people in prison, to share their lives with the public, their stories with policymakers, so that we can finally have child-centred justice in this country. Our thanks to the International Juvenile Justice Observatory for this recognition and for the honour of this award, and our congratulations to all the other award winners. We look forward to staying in touch, sharing best practice, and pushing towards more progressive policy for children the world over. Huge thanks.